Hi guys, today we'll be explaining about TJM Airtec snorkels and why a snorkel is important, especially for sand driving in Dubai, UAE deserts. This car is equipped with a K&N air intake system, and I'll be explaining to you how this intake system works and why our snorkel will be much better. So this K&N filter, as you can see, it has a cone-shaped filter. You can see it here. Now this cone-shaped filter basically is in an open area, yeah. So all the engine heat, this engine gets really hot, especially when we are driving in roads, and all the engine heat is being sucked up. The problem with air when it gets hot is it's less dense, and the colder the air it's more dense, and more dense air means more power. So always for all engines, whether be it racing, whether be it off-road, any engines, when you want to make more power, you need more denser air. So what OEMs generally do is, original vehicles have air intake somewhere in this area, somewhere down. You can see this was the original tube. Now this tube is connected to this fender, and below the fender used to be an air intake from OEM. So they take air from somewhere around this area, which is still not the densest air they can get, but it's a little bit cleaner compared to taking air from the engine compartment. Now when you take air from the engine compartment, it's okay for on-road cars and street cars or track racing cars, but for off-road cars, this compartment gets really dirty, really dusty, and all that affects your filtration performance. So when your air filter gets clogged, you don't get too much airflow, and when you don't get airflow, you don't get power. So main role of snorkel in UAE is to provide you colder air and provide you cleaner air. That is, when your snorkel air intake is somewhere up here, you get the most coldest air possible in that environment. And since all the dust is in this lower area, you don't get air which is dusty, which is having a lot of particulates basically. So when you take it from a top area, you get much more cleaner area and much more colder air. So as the video progresses, we'll be showing you the components in TJM Airtec snorkel, and we'll be showing you how it integrates to your original air box, and how we cut the fenders. So that's how we'll be going through the video. So we'll take you through the process. We'll be continuing discussing about TJM Airtec snorkel for Fjcruiser. Today we'll be taking you through the whole build process of installing a TJM Airtec snorkel on an Fjcruiser. So what comes in a box when you buy a TJM snorkel from us is the whole main body itself. This is a one-piece body, so there are no splits in between, and you get an engineered air ram. This air ram is engineered specifically to take the shape of a Fjcruiser and maximize airflow into your intake. Also, it has kind of slots on the back of it. So when you go into rainy areas or wet areas, it allows to drain the rainwater collected when you're moving forward and drain it out rather than taking it to your engine air filter box. Then you get an intermediate tube. This tube is stronger than compared to low quality snorkels which is available in the market. Why the strength of snorkel is more important is that it's not apparent to normal buyers. When you rev engines at high RPMs, or when you're going to tube bashing and you're revving the hell out of your engine, the vacuum traded by engine is so powerful that it kind of crumples the low quality plastic, and the vacuum is so strong that you can actually physically see the snorkel body move if it is low quality. So the strength of plastic is really important if you want to maintain the airflow into engine without interrupting it, so you get more power. TJM uses a specific special plastic which is molded in Australia. It is made in Australia, and they're UV stable. Why they're UV stable and it's important to our conditions is prolonged periods of driving in sun. If you don't have a high quality snorkel, it kind of weakens the structure, it starts to form cracks, or it becomes more brittle. So a plastic should be stable in this, especially in UAE conditions. It should be very stable, and TJM provides a UV stable pigment in the snorkel body, so it's much more stronger. And all the seals, all the joints are all sealed by a specific sealant provided by TJM itself and rust inhibitors. So when we are drilling into your body, the TJM provides rust inhibitors so they don't rust in future. So we take care of everything and we provide you fasteners, clips, stainless steel fasteners, hose clamps. Everything to do the mod is included from TJM itself, so it is specifically engineered for a Fjcruiser. And I'll be taking you to the install process and showing you how we actually install a snorkel into a Fjcruiser. So guys, this is the main air intake for your car. This is the original air intake where it comes in and ends. As you can see, this is covered by a normal mud flap. But when we go in off-road, generally this gets damaged or this gets starts, sand. Anyway, sand enters in this area. So you can see how low the air intake is. And whenever we are doing tire spinning, all the sand is thrown into air intake. And that's why many of the Fjcruisers which come to us, the airbox is full of sand and they have this filtration issues. So that's why we upgrade to TJM Snorkel and the main body fits in here and you get a higher air intake. So this is basically a mock-up fitting for you guys. So we drill a template we get a template from TJM and we drill holes according to TJM. And this is how your snorkel body sits in. And your air intake is raised from this position direct to higher position. So you gain almost a meter or meter and a half and you get an engineered air ram to suit. Which looks nice. Also it works to push in more air to get more power.